Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, or the shop. I should say shop. In this video right here, man, I'm gonna take y'all through grinding moulder heads, which is profile grinding, and try to explain that the best that I can of how I do things. So kick back, relax. This might be a 2-3 parter video because I don't know how much storage my phone's got. But hang on, let's do this. Okay, so this week we got these moulder heads. Alright, I think you can see this knife, concave, this one's for rise. We also have a couple of side heads, and two side heads, a top and bottom head. And hang on, where did I put that? Oh. This is what these things make. It's kind of dirty, but I think you can see. And these are stakes for those big electric reels for electric companies. Got all that wire rolled up on the back of their truck and they're rolling them out. But anyway, what this does, let's see if I can get it in here. This bottom head right here cuts the bottom. This top head cuts at top, right? The concave and the underneath cut, right? Then we got the two side heads. And what they do is they cut this bevel, right? Because it's like a 28-inch circle these things have to go around these. And it starts out as 5/4 material. And then these shave it all down to create the middle of the reel. So we're gonna start out by cleaning these heads. The two side heads have to be completely tore apart, cleaned, put back together, then sharpened. Hope y'all enjoy it. Let's go for it. All right, so cleaning these heads. When you have to raise the knives up in them, that's a whole different ballgame. I completely disassemble these, clean them. But just for sharpening, all I do is a little chisel and just go in here and clean as much as I can off of these, right? So let's put you on time lapse. All right, guys, I was a little wrong on that one. The side heads, these right here, didn't have to be redone. I was thinking about some other heads they got floating around. So, hey, let's start setting up to grind these things. Hang on. All right, guys, we've got our heads clean, fixing to mount them on the machine. This is a United Tool Company 50X. Bad little machine. It does have fluid coolant everywhere, but for sharpening, that's not really necessary. As long as you take your time. If I'm cutting knives and grinding them into a head, yes, you need to have the coolant. So let's put some heads on this machine and show y'all how this works. It works off of templates. Generally, when you buy heads or knives, it comes with templates. These stuff like this right here, and you just mount them in there, line it all up, and get it done. This is where it starts turning into a long, drawn-out issue when I start talking about this. I've got knives sitting right here. Let me see if I can find them. These, right? You see them all plasticed up. Well, here's the deal, man. Most moulder companies or companies that make moulder knives, this is inconsequential stuff, but for the sharpening guys, it might make a lot of sense. The only thing they will do is they will cut and balance two knives, right? Okay, that don't help you out on a 6-knife setup or a 4-knife setup. They need to cut and balance all of them on all 4 knives. And when I talk about balance, it's like a tire out of balance. If you don't have the weights right, man, that thing will just shake the crap out of it. You're wearing the bearings out of the whole machine. I have took these from Whining, right? Perfect. They're perfect. I have put these in machines because other people's bought them, and I put them in there. They ain't cutting right. They're not cutting right. The only way to make them knives work is you put them all in the head and grind it to the head, if that makes sense. I can't relate it to automotive stuff, but it's just like, you know, grinding the crankshaft, and you only grind one journal. You grind it out around, right? Stuff starts slapping around. So anyway, let me get this set up, and we will start grinding some. All right, guys, real quick, you'll notice I got some blue tape on here. I made these bushings for a certain size head. Then I come in on this step right here and turned it on my lathe, and I forgot to tighten a certain spot down. So it's like 2 thousandths out of whack. But I have found blue tape takes up all that slack. So, hey, let's get on with it. All right, guys, so let's mount the head, right? Let's get this started. And trust me, these things are heavy. So, let's clamp her together. It don't take a lot of pressure. Just hand tightens pretty much enough, unless you want to get really particular, but we're just messing with that curve. All right. Here we go. Come on. There we go. All right. mounted and ready to go. Now hang on, we'll put our template in. All right guys, so we got our head mounted up, right? Everything's ready. Let's take our template that matches our angle. And we're gonna put it in our vise here. We're gonna come up here and just keep messing back around. But right there is the middle. Right here is pretty close to the middle. Let's tighten her down. And then we'll start dialing her in. Here. Oh. Yeah. So now we gotta go this way. Right here. And you gotta keep doing that till you get her dialed in. So, see. All right, we'll be back in a minute when we get this all dialed in. All right, guys, we got her all dialed in. All right, I gotta come in some. But yeah, we got her dialed in. Next thing we have to do is little Earl. Don't forget about Earl. All right. Believe it or not, this plastic will eat the crap out of steel. Plexiglass, stuff like that, it's harder than steel. So now we got it all lubed up. We should be able to walk right through this. All right. But here we go. All right, guys, so there you go. Ground in. She looks pretty good. I mean, camera don't do it justice, but there you go. One almost perfectly ground in head. They're never perfect, but that's all it takes. Okay, so now, we was talking about two knives earlier, you know, they just match two knives. So here's where that gets detrimental to stuff, okay? And let me explain that real quick, all right? So here's a 6-knife head. So if you're buying knives from a company and they're only supplying 2 knives at a time that's perfectly balanced, now what you gotta do is put one knife here, 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 right? And then supposedly it's balanced, but it's really not, because if this one's heavier than that one, and this one's heavier than that one, or vice versa, you still got a flopping action going on. So when you're buying stuff like that, you know, it's not good. when I was making the heads, and I was expensive, is what they told me. But what I would do was I would cut all 6 knives out, balance all 6 knives in a set, rough them in, make sure they were still balanced, then put them in the head and grind them to the head. And when you're just replacing knives like 2 at a time, there's no way you can, hang on, put them in that head at the same spot unless you got a expensive head setup tool. So it's always best to put them in, then grind them to the head. And then it's still not perfectly balanced, but it's a whole lot closer than the 2 knife crap that everybody tries to sell you, if that makes sense, right? It makes sense to me, but if you don't know this stuff, you might be sitting there going, well, what difference does it make? But it makes a big difference in the vibration of the machine and the quality of cut. And heads like this, no big deal. It's just cutting a curve. But when you get into, see if I can lay this down here. When you get into stuff like this, right? Real intricate, you got me? And you got 6 of them sitting in that head. Dude, you better make sure everything's exactly where it's gonna be, or you're gonna end up wasting, you know, a couple $1,000 worth of trim when you're running that machine. So, you know, pros and cons to all of them. Pros, buying them 2 at a time, it's cheaper. Cons, it never works out right. You always still have to put them in and grind them to the head. Pros and cons about the way I do it, they always turn out pretty darn perfect, but more expensive, right? All right, everybody, hope you got a little something out of that. You know, that's what I do, or some of the stuff I do. Just thought I'd shoot this video up because I hadn't shot up a sharpening video in a while. And hey, hope you enjoyed it. Keep watching. I'll do some more. If you got questions on the motor head stuff, and if anybody out there watches this and may need a profile grinder, I've got one sitting out here under a big tarp. I'll make you a heck of a deal on it. I just bought it to keep this company from putting it into use, so I would get knocked out of a job. So, you know, that's how I ended up with that grinder. It's not as nice as my United over here. It don't have all the bells and whistles this thing does, but it does grind profile knives. Anyway, if y'all would like, you know, anybody out there would like to have one of them machines, just holler at me. Leave a comment in the comment section, and hey, we'll work something out, but it's heavy. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Like, share, subscribe. I guess we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.